Hello. Today we're talking about STIs, or sexually transmissible infections. The unfortunate thing about STIs is that rates continue to climb, and the highest rates are in teenagers and young adults. The scary thing about STIs is that you can have an STI and not even know. Even though there's no symptoms with many STIs, the consequences can be quite serious, such as infertility, the inability to have children, and in some cases, such as HIV/AIDS, even death. The other scary thing about STIs is just how easily they're passed on between two people. Experts have shown that with some STIs, such as some of the viruses, that in any one sexual interaction, there is greater than a 50% chance of passing on certain viruses. So it can be quite scary. So today, we're doing a little bit of a demonstration, just to show how quickly STIs can spread. Before me, I have 9 test tubes. In 8 of these test tubes, they're filled with water, and in one, it's filled with vinegar, representing the person with an STI. And we haven't chosen this ratio randomly. This ratio is actually currently the ratio of sexually active people who currently suffer from chlamydia or have chlamydia without even knowing. What we'll do is have an interaction between one test tube with 2 other test tubes, thus representing a sexual interaction of each sample with 2 other people. So I'll take, to start with, a little bit of this sample and pop it in number 5 over here. And then I'll also take a little bit of number 5 to symbolise the exchange of body fluid with number 3. So, we've had our sample group of 9 each have 2 sexual interactions. But as you can see, each test tube looks exactly the same. There's no way of distinguishing between those with an STI and those without. The classic clinical example of this would be chlamydia, where an estimated 50 to 80% of sufferers currently show no symptoms. We will now test the samples with a pH indicator. If the samples remain purple, then that indicates that there is no STI present. If the sample turns pink, then that will indicate that there's an STI present. As you can see, the first 2 appear to be STI negative, and the third one looks like it's got an STI. Likewise with that. So we'll be able to see just how far this one particular STI is spread, even just in this small number of sexual interactions. So, you can see from our results that 5 of the 9 samples ended up being infected with an STI. You can see from these results just how easy it is for one sexually transmitted infection to pass throughout a sample group. You never can know who has an STI or who they've had contact with before you. Lastly, I would like to remind you that this is not how sex was meant to be. Sex was never meant to be something that you needed to fear, that you needed to protect yourself against. So I would like to encourage you, if you're someone who's planning on having one lifetime partner, such as in marriage, and if you remain faithful to that partner, and they remain faithful to you, then you have very little to worry about.